My name is Roy Glatt. I'm here today to talk about ALLERA Health Products. As you see on the slide, developer of patented all-natural Proligna with pinecone extract, which is a true breakthrough in immune system health. A little background on myself. I started as a field representative around the New York City area in the 1990s. So I've been in this business 25 plus years. I was a broker. I repped some of the greatest products in the industry at the time. From there, I started my own brokerage. I co-founded a consulting firm. And then from that point, I went to work for some of the largest companies in our industry's history. Currently, I'm with ALLERA Health, and I'm in charge of product training, in charge of sales training, and also new product development. So we'll talk a little bit about new products. We'll talk about products, but that was a little bit of a history on me. ALLERA Health Products. I'll show you our first slide. We're going to start out with what is Proligna. Proligna is kind of the star of the show here today. This is what we're talking about. Proligna is a patented product. It's a water extract of Scotch pine cones contained in only one product called Immune Extra, or the Immune Extra family of products. So Proligna is the name, the trademark name for Scotch pine cones. We'll talk about that. We're made from a wild-crafted, sustainable source of pine cones. Pine cones, we just pick them off the floor of the forest in Wisconsin and Minnesota. These are Scotch pine trees, a very specific type of pine cone. And we don't go up and shake the trees like they do in the orange fields in Florida to get the oranges to fall off. These pine cones are laying on the ground. We simply pick them up and we process them from there. We are wild crafted. Now, what does that term mean? Wild crafted means we all know the value of being organic. Organic is pretty much a common word today. And you can find it in mainstream grocery stores. But we all know that an organic peach is more nutritious and safer to eat than a conventionally grown peach, simply because there's no fertilizers, no chemicals for pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, etc. Well, the issue with organic, we're not allowed to call a forest organic because it doesn't have the specific boundaries in which something would be called organic. So we're wild crafted. No one's going to go into a forest and put fertilizer on it, or fungicide, or herbicide of any kind. But because we don't have the boundaries of like a cornfield or a soy field or anything like that, we can't be designated organic coming out of a forest. It'd be like trying to call the ocean organic. So we are wild crafted, which is basically the same thing as organic on a large scale in a forest. So with that, we're proven free from all allergens, heavy metals, pesticides, herbicides, any kind of microbiological contamination, along with the fungicides as we talked about. Completely proven safe for humans. This is a question that comes up, and it should be a question that comes up with all products. Has this product been tested extensively for safety? ALLERA Health was set up originally by scientists, and back in the 1980s, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but because scientists set this product up and did the research on it, safety was a paramount concern to them. So in 2008, they did a double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial at 3 distinctly different medical centers. The double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial is very similar to the same ones that drug companies use when they're testing for efficacy and safety as well. So yes, it is very safe. In fact, Proligna, they have shown that you could take 20, 22, 24 of these capsules in a day without any adverse side effect whatsoever. So it is a very safe product to take. Protected by 14 patents on making and using Proligna. If you research the patents, or if you research where this comes from, it's also known as PPC. So PPC is the same thing as Proligna, which is the same thing as pinecone extract. All right. So we're going to talk about CBD along with pinecone extract. So let's go to the very first thing. Start from the start, right? What is CBD? CBD is short for cannabidiol, which is a chemical compound found in all hemp plants. CBD is not marijuana. It's a natural occurring substance or a compound that's used in products like extracts and oils and edibles. Unlike its cousin, delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, which is the major active ingredient in marijuana, CBD is not psychoactive. In other words, this product will not get people high. It will not leave a residue of THC at all. So CBD is very popular. In fact, you can find it in a lot of foods, in drinks, as well as in supplements. The human body contains a specialized system called the endocannabinoid system, or the ECS. It's involved in regulating a whole bunch of variety of functions, including sleep, appetite, discomfort, and immune system response. So with that said, you can see our bullet points. It may promote brain health, may support healthy eyesight, may support a healthy nervous system, and may support a healthy immune system. Proligna now is a CGMP manufactured product, and it's manufactured only by ALLERA. GMP stands for Good Manufacturing Practices. The C in front of it is the second generation of GMP, or GMP 2.0, if you will. It's a regulatory agency that makes sure that all products are made by certain metrics. So you can be concerned about cleanliness of the facility itself, etc. The nice thing about the Proligna is only U.S. ingredients are used to manufacture Proligna, pine cone extract. Again, the pine cones are readily available as a renewable source, and they only come from Minnesota and from the forests of Wisconsin. Only purified water is used from start to finish, no alcohol or solvents. This is extremely important. A lot of times, many extracts are made with alcohol or even solvent materials to get the extract out of the botanical. What happens in some cases is that you can run the chance of getting that solvent residue left on the extract, left in the bottle, or even in the capsuling. That solvent residue, as it builds up within your system, could potentially cause some problems later down the road. We only use purified water. It's a little bit of an alkaline water, and the way these things are processed is the pine cones are collected, they're cut up, they are done with a what we call a soft extract made with just water. It turns into a liquid, of course. It's dried into a powder and then put inside of vegan capsules. The diagram on the right pretty much shows the simplicity of this. But this whole process is one of the patented features of Proligna. All ingredients are 100% natural, vegan, and free from common allergens and contamination. Highly stable Proligna, because there's nothing in it that could be unstable. We only use water. There's no solvents. There's no alcohol involved. It's extensively tested by independent laboratories, many steps during the way, and it's measured for potency. Again, Proligna is a CGMP manufactured in NSF certified facilities. NSF is the National Science Foundation, and an NSF certification is kind of the key for your products to be that it is safe, and it is the #1 certification and testing authority for dietary supplements, testing for things like heavy metals, bacteria, harmful levels of contaminants, etc. And also, Proligna is a non-GMO verified product. Non-GMO is getting very popular in the marketplace. Non-GMO means non-genetically modified organisms. GMO plants, GMO foods are all over the country. It's almost impossible, very difficult to find corn or soy, for instance, that has not been genetically modified. The reason people are doing genetically modifications is because it helps for the yield of the crop. In other words, you can genetically modify a seed so it is more resistant to drought. It is more resistant to specific pests that could destroy that seed. Genetically modified organisms may or may not pose a problem to us. We don't know. We're the guinea pigs on this. As we consume these products, as we consume genetically modified soy, which is in, by the way, almost everything, genetically modified corn, nobody knows if this is going to harm us on a long-term basis or not. That's why non-GMO products are getting to be very popular. You'll see entire sections in grocery stores that are talking about non-GMO products. Proligna is a non-GMO verified product. The takeaways on this would be that it's only used the pine cones that are harvested in the United States. They're readily available. We only use purified water. No alcohol or solvents are used. It's all natural and vegan free. It's tested along the way, every step along the way. It's very stable and it's measured for potency. And it's CGMP manufactured, NSF facilities, non-GMO verified. Those are a lot of the questions that we get. What does Proligna do? We're going to talk about immune health. You can see the diagram on the right. And it's a kind of organs of the immune system. The immune system is it's not well known. If I could go up to anybody, I could go up to school children and say, tell me about the digestive system. Well, you put it in your mouth and you chew it up and it goes into your stomach, then into your small intestines. Most people understand that. I said, tell me about the circulatory system, how the blood goes through the heart and through the body. Most people understand that. But when you get to the immune system, they go, well, geez, I don't know what's involved in the immune system. It's kind of different out here. We always hear about immune health, but what's involved in it? So what Proligna does, or what we're talking about here, is it may promote dendritic cell development as much as 9-fold in as little as 9 days. So we're going to talk for a second about what dendritic cells are. Dendritic cells are a specific cell in the immune system that are kind of like the scouts or the messengers of the immune system. And I picture them in my mind as like little Pac-Man floating around in your immune system. They're not the disease-fighting T cells or all the other warrior cells that are in the immune system. But if a pathogen comes into the body, and they come in so many ways, from the skin, through what we breathe, what we drink, what we eat. There's all sorts of ways to get these viruses and bacteria, et cetera, into our bodies. So what dendritic cells do is they're kind of floating around and they see something that they don't recognize. What is this thing? I'm a messenger here. I'm responsible for reporting back what this is. They literally go up and sample it. So they go up and take a bite out of it. That's where the Pac-Man comes in. And as soon as they have that bite out of that thing, they go down and they find a T cell or an immune fighting cell, a warrior cell, and they display it to it. And they say, hey, here's what I've got here. And the T cell says, okay, this is not good. We have to mount a response for this. So the important thing to remember is that we're not exciting the immune system by creating more T cells. We are enhancing the immune system by creating more dendritic cells or more messengers. If I have more messengers out there to see if a pathogen is coming into the body, I have a better communication with my warrior cells or my T cells or my immune fighting cells to get that word to them. So we don't ever have to be concerned about overstimulating the immune system, which we'll talk about in a couple minutes here. So with that, it may promote disease-fighting T cell response while reducing allergy-causing response. Again, keeping that immune system in complete balance. That's where we want to be. May promote anti-inflammatory properties. Again, where we want to be. You'll see below that is a quote from someone by the name of Akiko Tanaka. She's a PhD, the president of Tampa Bay Research Institute, or TBRI. TBRI are the people that have been doing the research on Proligna since about 1981, 1982, right in there, definitely the early 80s. They have had, before this even came out as a product in around 2006, they've been doing that much research on this. Again, as I mentioned, the company was set up by scientists, so they are so research heavy. And If you want to see the research, I would just highly recommend going to their website. It's tampabayresearch.org. Simply tampabayresearch.org, and you can see all of the studies that were done with Proligna, the amazing things that they have found out that it does. But Akiko's quote is, there's a long history of pine cone extract use in Japan and around the world. In my experience, pine cone extract has been extremely effective for immune support. She actually tells stories, and when we meet with her, she tells stories that when she was a little girl, they used to drink it as a tea in Japan, just for immune health on a daily basis. So this has been around for hundreds of years. This is a very interesting diagram you're seeing below. It's a bar graph, of course, and the diagram shows how Proligna may promote disease-fighting T cell immune response. Again, the T cells are the fighter cells. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get the immune response from them by increasing the amount of messenger cells that go to them. So you can see on the left of this, it says number of specific disease-fighting cytotoxic T cells produced in 2 weeks. So it's a 2-week period that we're looking at. The blue bar designates the control group. In other words, we're feeding these mice water only. This is a mouse experiment. There's, as you know, many experiments in science are done with mice and rats. Lots of companies do it. Lots of drug companies do it. It's an easy way of how we do experimentation. The next bar next to the blue bar is a 10% PPC or 10% Proligna or 10% pine cone extract solution. And the third bar is at a 100% solution, which is exactly the same amount how it would equate to 1 capsule a day in a human. So you can see the amount of disease-fighting cytotoxic T cells produced in 2 weeks from the 100% solution. So as the narrative says, the experiment shows that mice can mount an immune response to a foreign protein nearly 2.5 times better when PPC is adding to their drinking water for just 2 weeks. The large increase of specific immune T cells in the mice with the 100% PPC in the drinking water, and it says the equivalent of 1 capsule per day. The research actually came from Moffitt, which is a cancer research center. Here's the product we're talking about, CBD Pro. What that means is it's a combination of CBD and Proligna. We've already talked about Proligna, and this is basically your 1-a-day immune supplement. Or if you want to look at it very simply as it's like a vitamin for your immune system. It's a 1-a-day vitamin for immune health. It's the only CBD product on the market containing Proligna pine cone extract. The daily maintenance dose of 10 milligrams of pure isolate CD. The maintenance dose of 10 milligrams is pretty much accepted within the CBD world of a great dose to be taken on a daily basis to help you with all the things that CBD does. The advantage of being a pure isolate is the next bullet point, it's 100% THC free. One of the problems with taking CBD is that if you're taking it on a daily basis and it's not an isolate, there's THC, there's small amounts of THC left in that extract, because if you're doing a whole plant extract, you just can't say, okay, I just want to extract the CBD out of there. You're going to extract the CBD and the THC and all the other chemicals that's in that botanical, whatever the botanical may be. You'll get the whole range of chemicals that's in it. By using an isolate of just CBD, we are 100% THC free, which means that you never have to be afraid of passing a test for THC, because it will never be in the product that you're taking, and you still remain with all the benefits of CBD with none of the downside of taking that on a daily basis. The CBD is CO2 extracted, carbon dioxide extracted. Again, no solvents used. This is a high pressure CO2 extraction process. No solvents are used, so it's the same thing we talked about with the issues with solvents potentially leaving residues when we were talking about Proligna. The same issues apply when we're talking about CBD. The Proligna and CBD Pro will never overstimulate the immune system as other immune boosters could do. When you're dealing with the immune system, you always have to keep this thing in balance, like we talked about. Out of balance one way or the other is not a positive. If you overstimulate the immune system, and a lot of botanicals do that, I can share with you that echinacea, for instance. I always use that as an example. There's been studies done, and a lot of people believe and have written about that you should not be taking echinacea or any other immune stimulants for more than 14 days in a row. The risk of taking something that will stimulate the immune system to that amount could actually put a potential on entering some kind of autoimmune condition. Autoimmune conditions, there's 70 plus of them. Please look them up and you can see exactly what we're talking about. But autoimmune conditions is the immune system actually attacking itself and having the immune system overstimulated, and that's what will happen. Proligna will never do that because it doesn't stimulate the immune system. It creates more dendritic cells, which then has a greater response and a greater communication to the T cells, and the T cells do their job. So there's never a concern of overstimulation. And again, as we talked about at the very beginning, it's been tested and it's safe for consumption up to 22 plus a day with never an adverse effect. So only product which may increase dendritic cell growth as much as 9-fold in as little as 9 days. Something very, very important to hang on to. So again, the takeaway from the product then is the only product on the market that has CBD and Proligna. So we're definitely looking to have that combination. We're definitely looking to have that exclusivity in the marketplace. And it's a daily maintenance dose of 10 milligrams, which is perfect for maintenance on a daily basis. All THC free, no solvents, no worry of any kind of solvents residue left. No worry of overstimulation, because of course, as we talked about, all we do is increase dendritic cells. Our other product that we're talking about is something called Immune Extra 3. Immune Extra 3 has a little history. We haven't had this product out on the market for that long, but this is a triple strength dose of Proligna. And we'll give you a little history. I'm going to jump ahead here just for a second on these bullet points. But Proligna capsules have been sold in the U.S. for about almost 15 years. So right around 2006 is when they started for sale. Proligna is used for many, many reasons. It's used for immune health, immune balance, but some people with some very serious conditions take this product, and they were taking multiple capsules a day. We have some people that were taking actually 6 of these a day for very serious conditions. So we were asked by doctors, can you make a stronger strength so they don't have to take so many capsules? 2 of the biggest complaints that you're ever going to hear about this industry, about the nutraceutical industry, is the I take too many pills and the pills are too big. Well, first of all, these are very small capsules. And now, instead of taking 3, you only need to take 1. So what I like to call this product is, for most people, I call this a medicine cabinet product. This is a great product to have in your medicine cabinet in case you're feeling something. You feel that tickle in the back of your throat. You feel that inflammation. You feel your sinuses getting clogged up. Start taking this. I would take 1 of these twice a day, and then at that dose, you'll be actually making more dendritic cells on a much faster rate to increase the communication to the T cells, as we discussed earlier. Other than that, this again, it's a very convenient way to get a dosage for someone that is using this for other reasons. So it's specifically designed for enhanced immune protection. It was originally only available for the professional market. And again, like we talked about, it's just been available for maybe a year or so in a retail market space. Immune Extra 3 will not overstimulate the immune system as other immune boosters can do. Again, for Immune Extra The normal dose of immune extras was 20 to 21 to 22 to 24. So 7 of these or 8 of these could be taken on a daily and still be in doing the math. It would be equivalent to 21 or 22 or 24 of the straight immune extras. As usual, it's vegan, gluten-free, pesticide-free, and non-GMO. Some of the questions we get when we're talking about immune extra was what we've gone over is how safe is it? We know that they've done studies on it. How long has it been around? Well, immune extra itself has been around since the early 1980s. It was set up by Tampa Bay Research Institute, TBRI. Again, I urge you to go to that website, tampabayresearch.org. There is a ton of information there that is just outstanding information. We know it's a sustainable product. We know it's all U.S. sourced and extracted and packaged all in the United States. Other than that, those are pretty much the questions that we're going to get on a basis. You can see that if someone is taking an Immune Extra 3, this is a 60 capsule product. So if you're taking one of these a day, that's a 2-month dose or a 2-month supply for you on one a day. So this is a very, not just, it's full of features, it's full of benefits, but it's got a value built into it as well. So thank you very much for your time, and good luck out there. I hope to talk soon.